Hello, my name's Roy Harper, coming to you from Dayton, Maine. I'm not in Saco today, nope. Out at my girlfriend's house, getting ready to have dinner after a while. Then gonna watch the Final Four, and my time of the year. Anyway, you see I'm standing up, so you know it is story time. And today, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to tell you a story. After I've told you the story, I'm going to tell you why I tell you the story. Since I got out of the Air Force 37 years ago, I've done quite a few things, all in sales. One of my favorites actually was selling replacement windows in people's homes. I had a really good time. Let me tell you about the time when it got even better. I was doing well, making a lot of sales. I was closing at 25%, which was very high in the company. And the boss came to him and he said, "Roy, would you let ride with you?" And I said, "Sure, be more than glad to." He says, "He's kind of struggling, so hopefully you'll get some ideas from you, turn him around." I said, "All right." So we got ready to leave, and the guy says, "Roy, if you want, I'll drive." And I said, "You know what? That's enough I'll take anybody up on. I don't like driving anyway." As a matter of fact, once I'm making enough money, first thing I'm going to do is go hire me a chauffeur to take me wherever I want to go. But anyway, we get in the guy's car and we're chatting along. And he says, "You know, it's going to be nice to ride with somebody that's making good money." And I said, "Well, yeah, okay. I'm glad you were able to come along. And I hope I'm able to help you." And he said, "Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate that." And he said, "You know, do you remember in training when we were told you could take the sashes out of the windows to use them as an emergency exit in the case of an emergency?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Have you ever thought about stepping through the window?" I said, "Nah, I really haven't." But my mind's going now, and I thought, well, you know what? The window's 27, 30 inches wide, about 39 inches tall. It's in best way I can describe it, an oversized briefcase. And when we set it up, when we opened up that briefcase, it was sitting on a pedestal. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it tonight. I'm going to find out. So we got to the people's home. They greeted us. We go on in, chit-chat for a few minutes, and then while I'm setting up, and I started doing my presentation and got to the point where I took the sash out. And said, you know, this is a great way to make an emergency exit from your home, even if you're on the first floor, because sometimes a fire can block the pathway to a door, and you may not be able to get out, but you got windows all over your house, so more than likely you're going to be able to use the window. And it's this simple. You pull the sash out, you go through it. And I said, "Watch how simple it is." And I threw my leg up there and started stepping through the window. Well, when I went to get my other leg through, lo and behold, my butt got stuck. Not only did my butt get stuck, but as I'm trying to pull that other leg through, I actually pushed myself over in the floor, and I go crashing down with a big clanking sound and whatnot. And the people are looking, and he's looking, and I'm looking, and flailing my arms all over the place trying to get out. And I finally extracted myself from that window. And the people then looking at me, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay." As I'm brushing my butt off, I said, "But I tell you what, my ego is mighty bruised. I didn't expect that." People burst out laughing. So did the salesman that was with me. Finished up my presentation. Gave the people the price. They signed. No pushback. No objections whatsoever. And I thought, my gosh, this is unusual. I mean, no objection whatsoever. Finished up all the paperwork that had to be done. Got the money, got the check. It was well over $12,000. And I looked at the people and I said, do you mind if I ask you a question? And they said, no, go ahead. I said, when I gave you the price, you didn't object. You didn't ask about discounts, anything else. I said, why not? Now, I knew this might cost me money here, but I also believed that it would make me more money knowing the answers to what I'd asked them. They said, Roy, it was two reasons. And they kind of looked at each other and they said, the first reason was we saw the value. We believe we're going to save more on our heating and air conditioning costs. And this was in Richmond, Virginia. Hot in the summer, still need heat in the winter. Humid, oh gosh. So either way, it's going to, you're just about running either heat or air conditioning there year round. He said, we believe it's going to reduce energy costs. I said, all right. He said, the second reason is you do a heck of a presentation. He said, especially the part of getting your butt caught and falling in the floor. Whether it was on purpose or not, it was great. It was funny. It got me to thinking. I said, well, thank you. I appreciate your honesty. We left, and the guy that I was working with, he says, Roy, was that the first time you'd ever done it for real? I said, yeah. He said, well, did the part of falling in the floor, was that on purpose or was it by accident? And I said, a total accident. But the whole time my mind is going and I'm thinking, I've never closed a house full of windows this easily before. Now I'm closing at 25%. Raise your closing percentage because I was running 14, 15 appointments a week. Close your closing percentage 2 or 3 points. You had quite a bit of income on. I was making 12+% on those windows. I got to thinking, I'm going to do that in every presentation that I make for the next 100. I'd already done about 1,000 presentations. I know I'm closing at 25%. After the next 100, when I'd use that, and you could use it on first floor or single-story house, double, two-story house, doesn't matter. You could still do that. I was closing at 38%, 39%. Which exact, I can't remember. I got it written down somewhere, but it doesn't matter. It was dramatic. It was over a 50% increase in my closing ratio. The implications to my income were dramatic. Now I'm going to tell you this, and this is why I tell you this story. If you're not testing what you're doing, the implications to your income are dramatic. You are suffering either from cash drain or time drain if you're not testing. And that is why I promote a product called Pure Leverage. Let me talk about Pure Leverage for just a little bit. If you're an internet marketer, even if you're a network marketer, you need a list. If you got a downline, you want to be able to email them. You want to be able to keep training them. You can set that up through an autoresponder system. You need to be able to host videos, just like this one. I want to be able to host it somewhere so that I can do with it as I please. You also need a web conferencing room. What better place to train a group of network marketers than in a web conference room where they can see you, or that you can do a PowerPoint presentation, any way you want to do it. Have a whiteboard. For the low price of $24.95 a month, you get all of that at Pure Leverage. $24.95. I've looked, guys and gals, an autoresponder alone with 10,000 people in it, unlimited campaigns, is going to run a minimum of about $65 a month. And that's from eye contact, excuse me, vertical response, get response, AWeber. I've looked at all of them. $65 a month on minimum, $24.95. 100-person seat conference room, $50, included for the $24.95. Video hosting, who knows? Depends on how many videos you have and how much storage space you're taking. $24.95. Then, the most valuable tool that we offer for that $24.95 is about the fourth or fifth one down the page. Is called CPA, cost per acquisition. This is where you do your split testing. This is where you find out which capture page is working or which training is doing better. You find out so that you don't suffer cash drain and time drain in your business. It's vital that you split testing things so that you know what works, what doesn't work, what works better, what works best. You gotta know it. Now the great thing about all of these things, they're all first of all under one roof. You only gotta log in one time. You can use all the tools while you're in one place. So you don't have to go all over the internet to do it. Second great thing about it, we'll give you free training. We offer several training sessions a week with some really super trainers that know internet marketing and how to use and network marketing and how to use these tools so that you're going to take your business to a brand new level. And then the third great thing, for just an additional $19.97 a month, you can become a reseller, collecting 100% commissions on the people that you bring in, plus getting a 50% matching bonus on what they produce. Do you see the power? Just a couple of people and your tools are totally paid for every month. Totally paid for. You've got the cost per acquisition analyzer. You got your autoresponder. You got your web conference room. You got all of it. Guys and gals, if you're not split testing what you're doing, trust me, it's costing you time. If I hadn't, and it's costing you even worse, money. And because time is money, it's costing you both. If I hadn't decided to take and inject that into my presentation and find out that I was going to close on average of 13 or 14% higher, my income would have been much lower, which means I've got to run more appointments to make the same money. Same thing applies here. So I'm going to ask you to do two things for me right now. The first thing I want you to do is look up the page at the channel art, and I want you to subscribe to my blog just below it. Click on to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to be back time and time again doing videos for you. A lot of them are going to be stories. I got a boatload of stories to tell, and I love telling them. My friends say, one group says Roy's a master storyteller. The other group says Roy's the world's greatest liar. You got to figure out for yourself which one you believe is the case. But I tell you, the story I just told you is gospel truth. The second thing I want you to do is go down into the description, leave your information, learn about Pure Leverage from me, and come on in and join us on the Pure Leverage team. Get your tools that you need for your business all under one roof at a much better price than you're going to pay anywhere else. Look, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot for your time today. Take good care of yourself, and bye-bye.